You are now watching the Movie Juice Podcast.
The juice is loose.
Hello, and welcome to a special episode of the Movie Juice Pod. We're not watching a movie this week, but I am Dylan.
And I am Kyle.
And I am James. Movie Juice! Movie Juice! Movie Juice! Movie Juice!
Technically, we're not juicing a movie.
Oh, Daddy!
Cinematic.
Universal.
Masters!
Come!
We are! Come!
2024 was a fun year. 2024 was an okay year for movies.
It was okay.
It was a good year, and it was okay for movies. It wasn't 2023 though.
Yeah, because we had this debate. I want to talk a little bit about it. Me and James, or we all did. We were in the group chat, and James was like, 2023 was such a good year that like was 2024. What?
So my cat is not impressed with the whole cum topic. Like, he is not impressed.
Or didn't press.
I don't think anyone in this room is except for us.
Not even Jeff.
Not even Jeff.
Sit in the corner and think about it.
Yeah, fuck you, Jeff.
Think about cum.
Sending me on that shitty Delta flight a
bro.
few weeks ago.
So it wasn't a good flight. Okay.
Well, I can change my mind.
Motherfucker's doing double duty to get this episode out and Nosferatu tomorrow.
Fuck him.
Well, he can
dude.
eat my butt.
He can get cum done.
Yeah. Masters.
I promise we treat our editor with respect when we're not on this podcast. Please don't cancel.
We love our.
We pay him in cum.
But yeah,
No, I'm not helping the case, am I?
No, you come on our editor.
But 2023 was a really good year for movies. You know, we had Spider-Man
Jesus
Across the Spider-Verse came out, Transformers Primal.
Yeah, we got a Transformers movie this year.
Yeah, we did.
But Primal was fucking cool.
And we had like that Ninja Turtles movie, and those all came out within like a few weeks.
It was a really good blockbuster year.
It was a really good blockbuster year.
But I remember I wanted to say that I thought it was an interesting contrast that you were like, maybe it wasn't a bad year for movies this year. It just compared to our lineup last year, it's not as good. And I was
also got to think, man, last year we had Barbie, we had Oppenheimer.
Barbenheimer, bro.
Barbenheimer.
That's another thing I want to talk about is like. I'm sick of these people trying to copy Barbenheimer. The reason Barbenheimer worked is because it came out of fucking nowhere. Exactly. And like these people keep doing like I'm going to do this thing where I see both of them back to back, and I'm like, stop trying to make it something that's the reason why it was what it was.
Yeah, it was a moment in time.
It's called lightning in a bottle.
Yep.
And when you let it out, it's gone.
It's gone, and it was awesome. It was awesome.
It was a great year.
It was a great year.
It was a great time.
2024 was not bad.
No.
It was the year of the fucking sequels.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for real.
Yeah.
Sequels that came too late.
There were some original movies though that came out
that were pretty good.
That were good. Which I have a couple.
My number one is an original movie. It's not a
Really?
sequel, which is good.
So was mine.
Hell yeah, good.
I wonder if
We'll see.
We'll see. Yeah, because I have one very high in mind.
Hell yeah.
This is the cum episode, but it's also kind of a year in review.
Agreed. We just
For movies that we basically didn't do episodes for, but we just kind of want to highlight our top worst movies.
and some we did do episodes for. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But for the most part, we're all over the place. But like,
Yeah.
We're gonna do
that's
honorable.
why we're giving you a regular episode too, because like we just want to give you a little something extra.
We're doing dishonorable and honorable mentions for movies. We're doing our top 5 worst of the year, our top 5 best of the year,
And
our all personal opinions.
And then we're gonna look back and see if we gave the movies the right score.
Yeah,
at
we
the
might
end.
change some
Yeah,
scores.
I might do a little bit of readjusting.
And also, I just wanted to mention, like, up front, some of my honorable mentions are probably going to be movies that we just covered. Because, like, we're also kind of just talking about movies that we watched this year.
Yeah.
So, but I'm going to try my best to keep my top 5s as movies that came out this year. So, do you want to get started with your dishonorable mentions, Kyle?
For sure.
Okay.
Do you want to do the dishonorable mentions, or do you want to go my top 5? Or no, we'll do the honorable mentions before 1, right?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Okay, that's fine.
Well, my number 5.
Are we doing worst first?
Worst first.
Worst
Okay.
first.
Cool.
So this one is at the bottom of my bottom ones because it was the least offender of being a bad movie to me. And it's The Crow because it had good action and like it was. I didn't hate it, but it definitely was kind of a stinker. It's at the bottom. There's a reason it's at the bottom, and it's just because like it did the least amount to offend me than the top 4 spots.
Understandable.
And I know that Dylan's kind of right there with me a little bit with it because, like, I know you were a little higher on it.
I was.
But like, I would very be curious if this one's on your list as well, Dylan. And my number 4. The only reason this is at number 4 is because The Crow did the least to offend me, and the ones that were higher than this one did the most to offend me. Number 4 is Smile 2. Because that was also a stinker. And with hindsight, with people, a lot of people liked. I wanted to talk about this, but like a lot of people, after I watched a lot of reviews of them, they said that like they like Smile 2, and like I've noticed that like it's very divisive. Of like, there's a good chunk of people that liked Smile 2 a lot, and then there's a good chunk of people like us that really didn't. Because I feel like we all were pretty low on it, didn't really care for it. I just find it interesting that it was very divisive.
I liked it better than the first one. That's all I'm gonna say.
I feel like we all thought it was pretty mid.
Yeah.
Because like it was okay.
Yeah.
But nah.
It didn't make my top 5 though, but like it's on my dishonorable mentions though.
And my number 3, as we're getting higher on the movies that fucking sucked, you're gonna be shocked maybe. Madam Web.
Oh no, I'm not shocked at all.
I'm
Okay.
not either.
No, I figured if you were to be shocked, you thought maybe I'd have it higher, but there are worse offenders. Like
Honestly,
because at least I had fun watching Madam Web because
yeah.
it was that bad.
Yeah.
Like the movies that are higher than this were just bad.
We're just bad.
Yeah. And I just want to point out again the fact that once again the PSP had not come out yet. I love this fact that Dylan likes to pull out, and I just wanted to mention it one more time before the year's over.
There was another thing like that in Y2K.
I didn't realize how passionate you got until I listened back to the Y2K. So I'm like, oh yeah, he was really passionate about that.
Because do you want to know?
Yeah, go ahead and tell me.
So it's set in December 1999.
Like, to be fair, this movie did have. I had a couple of these where it's like, was that really out yet? But like this one, he was very passionate about. I love it.
One of the characters is trying to make his own version of That 70s Show toys,
It's like a diorama.
and he has a Paul London figure, a Jack specific.
Oh, fuck that.
Yeah,
dude.
Even
Yeah, fuck that hard.
In 1999, he didn't debut until 2000. Then he wrestled for WCW in 2001.
And then like you didn't
Before it
you
shut
look it up
down.
and like they didn't even make the figure until like.
Well, the thing is, bro, like Paul London's not in the WWE till 2003.
Yeah, he doesn't get his first
WWE
figure until 2000.
doesn't even have figures like that in 1999.
No.
They're still doing fucking Titantrons and bone crushing action.
Yeah.
Don't fucking come with me with some bullshit. I haven't seen this goddamn movie and I'm getting mad about it.
Dude, okay,
This is how it was. It was fun.
yeah, dude. Like I saw it and I was like, bro, I had that figure.
Yeah, you did. I don't forget. I remember. We've been friends a long time.
And we have.
Anyway, sorry.
Oh, you're good. I was funny.
I hate that I'd missed that.
Yeah, right,
I'd have
dude.
been mad as fuck too. Anyway, you're on your number 2, I believe.
Well, I was just trying to think of Madam. I think that's pretty much from Madam Web. Like we all knew it was gonna suck.
Yeah.
Craven's not looking to be much better. The reviews are already asked for that.
Yeah.
I'm very curious though, just for my own sake. I'll probably go see it.
It's crazy they put out 3 Spider-Man Sony movies this year.
Yeah, and hey, we can. I don't know if you guys saw our Twitter, but it's finally fucking over.
Yeah.
Sony will no longer make those. I don't know what that means for what they're gonna do with the IP, because we don't know the Marvel and Sony deal how that's going. But like, at least we now know that they're gonna stop making fucking villain Spider-Man movies without fucking Spider-Man. Thank you.
Thank God.
Whatever God you believe in, congratulations. Number 2, you're gonna be probably shocked with this one too. But number 2, you might think it'll be higher, but it's not. Joker 2, Folie à Deux.
Yeah.
It's
I'm
not
not shocked.
great. I think that might have been the minus Thanksgiving, but I think Joker 2 was probably my least scored movie if you don't count Thanksgiving. I think I gave it a 2.
Yeah.
Like I
I
think
gave
we
it-
all did.
yeah.
Like
I think we
it's
all
just-
gave it a 2.
It's not great. I really don't have any. I have a reason for it to be at number 2 and not number 1, but I'll get to that when I talk about number 1. There's really nothing else I can say except for that it was just bad and I hated it. And then number 1, the only reason it's at number 1 is because it was the first movie of the year I saw, and nothing got better after it. Night Swim. It was the first movie I saw in January, and it wasn't great. It set the bar for what horror was going to be this year.
The trailer for it was way better than the actual movie.
Yeah,
The trailer made it look like it was going to be really good.
Yeah, and then it's just literally a haunted fucking swimming pool.
Yeah, that
Like-
movie.
Like when they built it over something. Spoilers for this movie that fucking sucked. Don't watch it. Just
Don't.
listen to us talk about it. Even though we didn't do an episode on it, just listen to us right here. Like,
Before I get into my top 5, you want to go through your dishonorable mentions?
yeah. I just kind of made a basic list, and then the ones that weren't the top 5, I only have one that's new that I saw by myself before we saw Beetlejuice, because I just had free time to kill before you guys got there for Beetlejuice. I saw this movie called The Front Room, which is basically Brandy's return to horror this year, which hopefully I think she's going to be in the I Know What You Did Last Summer sequel next year, hopefully. But like this was like her big return, and it was just god awful. Her mother-in-law, her long-lost mother-in-law, has to come stay with her while she's pregnant, and she has to like take care of her while the husband's trying to be like a lawyer. She's basically just cleaning up her piss and shit the whole movie.
Ugh.
And then it ends with her killing the grandma, and it just sucked. It wasn't great. So that's an honorable mention. And then my other two are, I guess there's just one. I put Dope in there because I was like, from one that we did of the episode on. I don't know. It didn't blow me away. And I don't know if you guys are keeping up with Shameik Moore on Twitter, but he's down bad apparently because Haley Steinfeld just got engaged to
NFL's Josh Allen.
Josh Allen, and he was
the quarterback.
Yeah.
There is another player also named Josh
Agreed,
Allen.
yeah.
Clarify
And I saw him spiraling on Twitter recently about that. It's like I feel like Shameik Moore was really good in Dope, but like I feel like he kind of squandered his potential.
Oh, God,
so I just like it's just that's why it's an honorable mention of like it's one of the movies that we did this year that I'm like it wasn't great.
I'm gonna jump into my top 5 worst movies of 2024. My number 5 is a movie that me and you watched together earlier this year, and it wasn't great. It was called Imaginary.
Yep.
Yeah.
I toyed with that one, but it was not memorable enough for me to put on my list,
Yeah.
even as an honorable
Just like
mention. It came and it went.
The concept was cool. Don't get me wrong. It was just like executed so fucking
so
poorly.
bad. Yeah.
And my number 4 is The Crow.
Oh yeah, nice. You had it higher. Nice. I get it.
I mean, like I couldn't really justify moving it higher than 4 or 5.
There were movies that did worse.
Yeah.
That's why mine's where it's at too.
Yeah, and my number 3 is Night Swim.
Nice.
Because that was the first movie of 2024 that we watched together, and I was like, this movie is ass.
Yeah.
Like, not even like halfway through the movie, I'm like, okay, this movie sucks.
Yeah. I tried to give it hope. Like
Yeah.
I was huffing some hopium trying to get it to do good, and then when she leaves to go talk to the old lady about what happened at the house, I'm like, this is boring. I'm losing it.
And number 4, number 2, my bad. Number 2 is Madam Web.
Yeah, nice.
100% because of the PSP thing.
Yeah.
And my number 1 is Joker Filet of Doom.
Nice. I figured.
And,
I get it.
My dishonorable mentions I'll get into is Cuckoo. I did not care about that movie.
That one I'll kind of spoil it. It's not on my top list, but I toyed with putting it in my top because it was interesting. I found myself thinking about it.
It had some cool stuff. I just feel like they could have done it way better than what they did.
We got a few comments on the episode as well on YouTube, and it made me think about it a little differently too. And I liked that. So it definitely stuck in my mind, but it didn't deserve in my mind to be anywhere near the top. And so that's weird that we're kind of flipped on that.
I don't mention Cuckoo at all.
That's fair.
Yeah.
It kind of came and went for me. I thought it was okay.
Yeah, the reason I didn't put it on my top 5 is because I think there's movies that were way worse.
I agree, for sure.
And then,
like your top 5.
Yeah. And then another one of my dishonorable was The Watchers, which is one that we watched together.
I thought about putting on dishonorable because I remember I was kind of higher on it when we talked about it, but
the trailer for it made it look like it was going to be a really good movie. Then we watched it and it was predictable, and it was just like, man, this is kind of a...
Because at the time I remember trying to justify it to you and myself, and then the longer I sat on it, when I was looking through a list to make, I'm like, no, that wasn't... Yeah, it was just forgettable. It was just as forgettable.
I just thought I just missed the concept. And I was kind of scrolling through the reviews and seeing that a lot of people were on with me, and I'm like, okay, it's not just me.
Yeah.
And
poor M. Night Shyamalan's daughter.
Yeah, well, he's
the one that's not a singer.
He's on my dishonorable mention list too, with Trap.
Oh man, really?
I had fun with it. The Kid Cudi cameo was good. I feel like it just had too many twists near the end for its own good.
Fair enough.
But there was movies that were way worse than that.
Yeah.
You know?
See, I
just kind of threw it on my dishonorable.
I heavy disagree with you on Trap.
But there was worse movies that I had fun with it. I just don't think I could hate it enough to put it on a top 5.
That's fair.
Yeah. I feel you.
And then another one is The Strangers Chapter 1.
Oh, God, I forgot we watched that.
Yeah, me and you watched it together. Then we watched a good one afterwards.
Yeah.
Was that the Late Night with the Devil, or was that Immaculate we did that one with?
I think that was probably whenever you watched Immaculate.
No, because Immaculate was... Because I remember the day we saw Immaculate was the first one we saw.
Yeah.
Because I didn't get to watch Immaculate with you guys. I think I had to work.
Cool, I can look at my letterbox because I know, whatever I ranked Strangers, I ranked the next one.
I actually have not watched
It might have been Late
Immaculate
Night with the Devil.
Immaculate's crazy.
It wasn't bad.
I've heard it's really good.
I enjoyed it.
Sydney Sweeney carried carries it for sure, though.
Oh, yeah.
Because like it's crazy that she that movie had been in development hell for a while, and then when she signed on as a producer, she helped get it made. Like it's crazy. It's crazy.
And then the last one of my dishonorable mentions was Smile 2. It's just like, I didn't like it, but like, I liked it more than the first one. I just don't think my hatred for the second one is enough to put it on the top 5. Now, if this was like 2021 and I was talking about the first one, that one would probably be like pretty high on my top 5.
Right.
Because I hated the first one.
Yeah.
But the second one, it was a little bit better. But yeah, that's my top 5.
Oh, it was
worst.
Strangers, and then we did If.
Oh, okay.
Because I made it to If with
Okay.
you. No, yeah, I watched it.
you
with
watched If.
guys.
Yeah.
Because I remember you couldn't make it to the Strangers, but you made it to If.
I made it to
remember.
If. Yeah,
Yeah.
If was okay. I don't mention it at all though.
I don't either. It was forgettable.
Yeah, it
John
is.
Krasinski kind of missed on that one.
Like I
I'm
said,
not
it
gonna
was
lie.
it was okay.
It was okay, but it like a lot of these movies this year just forgettable.
Yeah.
Like, you don't
Yeah.
remember them.
No, you don't think about them. So so here's my bottom 5. So at number 5, I put The Watchers.
That's right. I forgot you saw that different as a different.
Yeah,
time.
Sarah and
But I forgot
went
you
and saw
guys.
The
You
Watchers.
finally caught it. Yeah.
And I mean, it was okay. It was just like when I was looking at movies that came out this year.
Very predictable.
Yeah, and like I barely even remember it.
Yeah,
you know?
same.
Like I remember
Yeah.
the glass box
Yeah.
and the thing underneath, and like it was
Yeah.
just okay.
Had some cool shots. Like
It did.
it was shot nice for sure, but the plot wasn't all there.
But it was just and also like if I'm being honest, like for me, it was just kind of like I need a 5th one.
That's fair.
You know, like I need a 5th one.
That might
movie.
that's kind of how Crow was for me.
And then my 4th is Smile 2. You know, we've all kind of talked about it. It was just
Yeah.
super mid,
Yep.
whatever. And I just, I feel like everybody.
I think the beginning was the best part. Everything until Kyle Gallner dies.
Yeah.
Is like the best, and then it just
I think to me, one of its biggest sins is like it shows all like the really scary parts in the trailer too.
yeah. It's
Like
very,
I remember
very
that
bad.
specifically. Like
Because the first trailer was fine, but the second trailer, I remember. I think it was when we saw Speak No Evil.
Yeah.
We saw the second trailer finally for Smile 2, and I remember we walked out and I was like, that gave away way too much.
it did. It gave away everything.
Yeah.
Like you kind of ended up knowing what was happening. Like I think I went in hoping maybe it didn't give away too much,
but it did. Yeah.
Gave away pretty much everything. And then after that, I have Madam Web.
Nice.
I put it in my bottom also because it was just like it just wasn't good.
It wasn't.
It just
No.
wasn't good. You know.
And like, I kind of feel bad for Dakota Johnson because I've seen her in other things and she's
Yeah,
actually a good
she's
actress.
really good, yeah, and, like-
I just kind of feel like she gets stuck in these shit movies.
And I feel like she was lied to. Like I'm pretty sure, like because I think she fired her agent too,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, she fired her agent.
Because I think her agent definitely sold this as like you're going to be in a Marvel movie.
Yeah.
And then just like you're just in the shitty Sony verse,
You're in
like
the Sydney Sonyverse, yeah.
Because like I remember a lot of the marketing. I remember there was one interview specifically I remember seeing over and over again where it's like she didn't after she made this movie she's like don't whatever, it is what it is, don't whatever you do.
It wasn't great.
Yeah, she knew.
And then I think I'm gonna put Night Swim at number 2.
Hell yeah.
I mean, I struggled between my 1 and 2 because both these movies are really bad.
Yeah.
But I think I'm gonna give Night Swim number 2 because even though it did suck really hard, it was at least like an original idea.
That's fair.
It wasn't a fucking
What if
shitty
our-
sequel.
What if our swimming pool was haunted?
Yeah, like there's not a lot of movies like that. Because my number 1 is Joker Filet Adieu.
Nice. Okay. I love that it's number 1 of two lists.
Well, see, like the thing is, like the first Joker, I stand by that. Like everybody just sucked that movie's cock for no reason.
Yeah.
Because it was good, but it wasn't like the fucking moment in time everyone acted like it was.
Agreed.
You know?
it wasn't the whole we live in a society thing.
Yeah, like, fuck
that
you.
people kept trying to make it.
Yeah, like dude, there's better Jokers, and
Yeah,
like
agreed.
honestly, bro, like I'm a Batman snob. I want my Batman too, and it's just
Yeah.
I just didn't care for it.
Here's a question I'm very curious about: Who's the better Joker, Joaquin or Jared Leto?
Joaquin.
Joaquin.
Okay.
At
At least we all agree on that.
Yeah. I mean,
I love that we hate Jared Leto's
I'm
that
just
much.
not strong on Jared Leto.
I think
Hey,
my
same.
beef is that I don't really like Jared Leto. Like he's got some good movies.
Yeah, like I like some of the Leto songs.
What the
but-
fuck you know about fucking
you
the
know
Joker?
about the
Joker?
That's good.
I mean, like,
You know, like-
there's a couple movies he's in that I like. I liked Little Things.
Yeah.
With
Yeah,
Denzel
Little
Washington.
I like it because he basically just played
Yeah.
himself, a fucking
Yeah.
creep.
Requiem for a Dream.
Yeah,
Requiem for Dreams good. Fight Club.
Fight. I mean, he's not. Yeah.
I like Fight Club because he gets his ass beat.
He
He's
does.
he's an American Psycho.
And like, he's an
He
American.
gets
Psycho.
fucking butchered.
He's in good movies.
Yeah.
But like they just
I
it
think-
was a miss.
Maybe he's not a good leading man.
There's a movie he won an Oscar for in
Dallas
Buyers Club.
Dallas Buyers.
And that's actually not a bad movie.
Yeah,
I've
I've
never
heard
seen
it's really
that
good.
movie.
Like,
Yeah.
he's a good actor in that. It's just like I think he just tries too fucking hard, and it's just like, come on, man,
Yeah.
just dial it back.
What are you
But
doing, man?
I only have 2 dishonorable.
Why are you doing this, man?
I only have 2 dishonorable mentions.
Yeah.
One of them is just a movie that we reviewed. It's Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Okay, here's where I want to bring up Thanksgiving, if you don't mind me stepping on you for a second.
Movie sucks.
It sucks so bad that I couldn't, in good conscience, put it on the worst movies of 2024 list. I made a new list called the worst movies ever made.
Oh,
and
okay.
Thanksgiving is the only one on it.
That's
And
right. He
It's
did-
probably the only movie that's going to be on it for a
He
while.
did do that.
Maybe until we watch Thanksgiving 3.
Yep.
Hopefully we don't
Oh,
watch
God,
that. I'm
I
just
hope we
kidding.
don't.
I'm
It's gonna
totally
be,
just kidding.
If we ever do watch it, it's gonna be a while.
Yeah.
If
Like,
we ever do the third one, I'm probably going to later on, after the episode's recorded, I'm going to find out how to make toast in my own shower.
I think you just throw it in, buddy.
Tell me about Thanksgiving. Sorry, I didn't mean to step on you there.
No, I mean that movie just sucked.
It
I mean,
just
like
wasn't
yeah.
good.
we knew it was gonna suck, or at least
Yeah.
I knew. I think you guys did too. Like
I knew it was a
I
so
knew
bad
it-
it's good movie, but then I watched it and I'm like, no, it's not.
No,
it's
it's
just
not.
bad.
I knew it was low budget. I didn't know how low budget.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's bad.
It was. I didn't even know. I didn't even know it wasn't in theaters. I didn't know that until we watched it, and I was
Yeah.
like, oh, okay, no.
Yeah,
this,
no, it's like a college art project.
Yeah.
and it's I don't know how it got such attraction.
And art is very loosely based.
Yeah, well, you know what I mean. And then I also wanted to mention I watched it was a movie that came out directly to streaming. It was called The Mousetrap.
Oh, I never watched that one
It was bad. It was
Yeah?
on Peacock. It was really bad.
because I thought about watching the kill count for it, but I never did.
There was a-
I said I was gonna watch the movie. I never did.
I watched it one day. I think Sarah was at work and I was at home. I think it was before I moved.
It was
in.
on Shutter, right?
No, it was on Peacock.
Oh, okay.
Or it is
On
on
the cock?
Peacock. Oh, it was
On the cock for the
Yeah.
cum episode?
It was on the
Shit,
cock.
hell yeah,
Yeah,
dude.
bro, I pulled out the cock for the cum episode. So yeah, but it was just really bad. It was super boring. I don't even think I finished it.
Really?
There was a movie I saw a trailer for that came out on Hulu. I forgot the name of it, but it's like Mr. Something.
That's on my watch list.
Okay.
Hold on.
Because like I saw the trailer for it, and I was like, oh yeah,
Yeah, but then I heard that because I was watching the Dead Meat James talk about it. He said that like he started watching it and fell asleep and never went back to it. Mr. Crockett.
yeah.
It's on my watch list. I haven't bothered to watch it yet, but I
Yeah.
want to.
Those are my only two dishonorable mentions.
Oh, that's cool to see a movie that like we didn't really talk about. Even in our personal lives, we never really talked about it. That's
No,
cool.
yeah, because like I said, I watched it. It
Yeah.
sucked so hard. Didn't even mention that I watched it.
Yeah, 'cause it was like one of those movies that like I knew existed, but I was like, I'm probably not gonna watch that.
All right, so you guys want to go ahead and move on to our top five? You want to go first, Kyle, or do you want me to go first?
Let's get someone else.
Yeah,
to go
we
first
can we
this time.
can go back around.
Yeah,
So
We'll snake draft it.
so for my movies top five, one of them did not come out in 2024.
Okay,
I hate to
that's
be
fine.
like that, but we did cover it heavily, and like I don't think any of us had ever seen it before. But it's not my number. I'll put it at number 5. Secret Life of Walter Mitty.
I really like that. I almost watched it again the other
Yeah,
day.
like-
I ain't even gonna lie.
You know,
That's
like
a good fucking movie.
I think-
I want to buy it on Blu-ray at some point.
Yeah, me
I think
too.
it's like I think it has become a comfort movie for me.
Yeah, I think
Oh,
it's
yeah.
definitely gonna be one that because like it's got such a chill vibe to it too. That, like,
Yeah,
you can just
dude.
put it on while
The
you're doing
skateboarding
anything.
scene, dude.
Oh,
so
dude,
fucking
the
peaceful.
cinematography of that movie.
It's
is
so
so good. Like, dude, I'm fucking coming my pants on the cum episode about it.
Yeah,
Like,
you
yeah,
know,
dude.
like the soundtrack was even pretty good.
Yeah,
I
dude.
added like a couple of the songs to
Same,
my
and
playlist.
they've played, and I don't skip them.
Yeah,
they're
same.
vibes for sure.
And then, so my number 4, and this is kind of like this. I think this kind of shows how much I was kind of scraping. But Transformers 1,
Oh yeah.
I really liked it because I love Transformers.
When I was
really
making
do.
the list originally, I put that on the list of like it was one of the ones that like I at least want to talk about. So yeah, for sure.
It was good,
It was
and like
good,
you
I
know,
liked it.
we didn't cover it at all.
Yeah.
You know, like we saw it just on like an off week,
Yeah.
and but it was good, man. Like, you know, like Badass Tron was really funny. Bumblebee,
Agreed.
it was cool
Badass.
seeing
I like the heel turn of
Megatron.
Yeah,
yeah, man,
'cause-
it was cool seeing them build that. You know,
'cause
like
I really like Brian Tyree Henry, the guy who plays Megatron.
Yeah.
Like, I think he also did some voice work in the Mutant Ninja Turtles. I can't remember for sure, but like he's a really good actor. But then to see that he could do good voice acting too is really good.
He did really
and
good.
his heel turn was very believable. And
Yeah.
I was worried I was curious if you guys were. I was worried that Chris
Hemsworth.
Hemsworth wasn't going to be able to kind of pull off Optimus
Optimus
Prime.
Prime. He did,
But like
Yeah, he did.
towards the end, you can kind of hear him getting more like the original Optimus Prime we know, and like by the end of it, I thought he was fairly believable.
I was sold.
and
yeah.
I'm cool with the sequel.
Yeah, there's nothing about that movie bad.
No.
You know, like it was solid. So I decided to fucking put it on there. My third movie that I want to talk about is another movie that we did not talk about, Blink Twice. I went and saw it with Sarah and it was very good. But I really enjoyed it. I went into it not expecting anything.
That was one movie I wanted to go watch. I just never got around to it.
Gotcha.
It was.
I'd say watch it. It's pretty good.
It was really good. I mean, I really enjoyed it. And I think a reason why I decided to put it on mine is because I went into it kind of expecting nothing.
Because even from the trailers, the trailer, I remember like before the summer, it was very heavily like played a lot, and I'm like, yeah, it looks all right. But then like when I saw it, I was like, no, that was a really good movie.
Remember I texted you and I was like, dude, you should watch it. Like, it's really fucking good. I think you'll like it. And then my number 2 is it was a movie we watched before the podcast, The Fall Guy.
Yeah, nice.
I fucking loved The Fall Guy. I thought it was really good. It stuck with me. It's really funny. The only thing that sucked about it
was
was
the fucking baby.
Fucking crying baby during the
I
exposition.
It
love
pisses me off that it happened twice this year.
No,
It did.
I will say the only good thing about that crying baby is that the whole theater united and roasted that motherfucker on the way out.
We collectively came together
And
for a
made
common
fun of-
goal.
For a common goal.
So much so that we made a guy that was taking a shit in the bathroom after the movie laugh his fucking ass off.
That was a good time. And but yeah, I mean, I really like The Fall Guy. Like, it's really actiony, and it was a movie that I went into looking forward to.
Yeah.
Same.
And
I think it delivered.
And it delivered. Like, I was not disappointed at all.
I agree.
Would I give it a 10?
No.
Like, maybe. I think at the time, after we would have just watched it, if we would have been doing the podcast and we came and did the podcast, I probably would have given it a 9. I'm sure it slipped by now because I haven't watched it again.
Because I saw it twice, because I saw it with my parents as well, again, after our first initial watch, because my dad wanted to see it.
Did it hold up?
It held up for a second watch, but I'm very curious now, just because like the year's coming to a close, but I still liked it a lot even in the second one.
I thought it was really good. And then my top pick is The Bike Riders.
Oh, yeah?
That was probably my favorite movie that came out this year.
Hell yeah, man.
Yeah. Just like thinking about it, sitting down and looking at movies that we talked about. And I know it was very, very early on in the podcast.
Yeah.
Very early on in the podcast. But I mean, fuck, man, it was a good movie. I gave it a 10. I think I'd probably still stand by that. I haven't watched it again, though.
I haven't watched it again, but the only reason I gave it a 10 initially, and I'm standing by this for sure, was because I expected nothing from it.
Yeah, me too.
I expected a cool movie about bikers, and in the end, I was like, that was a really fucking good movie.
Exactly. Like, you know, I think we just kind of decided to watch it almost on a whim.
Almost.
Because this is before we planned anything out.
Yeah,
we just go and watch
yeah.
it. And it was fucking good.
It was a great movie. Yeah.
I think I gave it a 7.
No, I think we...
You gave it a 7.
Did he?
Yep.
Yeah, I wasn't as strong on it as you guys were.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah, you're right. I thought we all gave it a 10. But yeah, so those are my top 5 movies of the year. Curious to see what you guys have to say, of course.
Well, I'll tell you right now, before I don't want to spoil anything, but you and I have some overlap. Just letting you know. That's why I wasn't talking too much.
All right, fair
So
enough.
if we're going...
Oh, shit, my bad.
I also want to do
Fuck,
my
my bad.
honorable
Sorry.
mentions.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because I have a decent amount of honorable mentions.
Oh, sure.
So I wanted to talk about... I'll talk about this one first because it didn't come out this year. I want to talk about The Longest Yard some more.
Hell yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because that movie's fucking awesome. And I'm so glad we did it. I think it's our best episode. I haven't listened to all of our episodes.
Right.
I re-listened to them. Obviously, I've been a part of all of them except for one. But
But do you download them?
I do.
Hell yeah!
We're getting to the point now where it's kind of like a job you hate working, where you're like, oh yeah, today was the worst day, but then you keep having more worst days and you forget. Where like there's episodes we record where I'm like, that was a great episode, that's the best one we've done, and then like we top it again a couple weeks later. I'm like, oh well, I mean at this point I just think we're starting to get really good at it in general.
I
So.
agree. But I think The Longest Yard...
But the longest yard I do remember having a lot of fun.
And it was one of the... I think it was one of the first times where we all like hit on a movie that we all really fucking liked.
It was nostalgic for all of
And
us.
it was all nostalgic, and we just kept quoting it and knowing it. Like, when I watched it with Sarah, I was quoting the fucking movie. I was saying the shit before they even said it. Because I've seen that movie so many fucking times, and it's still so funny.
I did that one night before where I was just watching it by myself, and I was still quoting it.
Dude.
So, like, there's definitely... we have watched movies like that where I'm like, I'm just quoting it before it even happens.
And then
I was doing the same thing with Napoleon Dynamite.
Yeah,
with,
Yeah.
Grace.
Napoleon Dynamite was great, too.
She's like, how many times? She's like,
Bow to your sensei!
how many times did you watch this? I was like,
A
I watched it a lot when it came out.
And then The Beekeeper is another one I want to mention.
Yeah, I didn't even put it on my list of like when I was making the list, but I was thinking about it. I was like, yeah. Every time it was brought up, because I think we'd mentioned it a couple of times, and I'd be like, I was finding it weird that I wasn't bringing it up, but like it was fun. It was
Yeah.
Well, you know, January is like almost always a dead month.
Yeah.
but
And
like I feel like they knew what they were doing.
Yeah.
and like it was the movie you could have fun with.
they were like, fuck it, throw out a bullshit, dumb movie. And it was good.
Not to mention, this
I
was
had
the
fun.
first movie I ever saw in theaters where a man literally answered his fucking fucking phone in
Oh
the
my
theater.
God.
And this one guy in front of us almost got up and beat the
Dude,
shit out
he
of him.
stood up.
Yeah.
And like his lady like grabbed him, and then the dude hung up the phone.
Yeah.
like not even knowing that bro's up there about to
beat
come
his
down
fucking
on
ass.
him.
And that's the first that's ever happened to me in a theater.
It was
I never
hilarious.
forgot it. I'll never forget this movie because of that.
Not only did he answer, he didn't answer, but hey, I'm in a movie right now. Coming back later.
He's like, hey, what's up?
He's having a whole fucking conversation.
And then
And it didn't bother me because it's a January movie. I'm not giving that much of a fuck about it, but it's just funny that it happened.
and then another honorable mention for me is one of Dylan's dishonorable mentions is Strangers. I put it on there. It was okay, and it was also mine and Sarah's first date. So
Oh, fuck, man. 'Cause
Yeah.
I was about to lay into you, but I can't.
It's,
I can't
it's
fall.
super sentimental for me. So.
It's sentimental, but still, that movie was god awful.
Yeah,
it
well,
was
like,
literally the first one, but worse. They said, "Let's remake this movie, but worse."
I'm just gonna
Yeah.
say spoilers. Don't really remember much of it. But
You know, if you remember the first one, you're good.
well, the first one is a great movie.
Down to like a person accidentally dying who wasn't supposed to die. Exactly what happens at the end, they still get got. Like down to every detail. It's just the first movie, but worse.
And then I
and
also
it doesn't have Glenn Howerton in it, so it automatically loses points.
I also mentioned
Sorry.
Trap, which is another one of Dylan's dishonorable mentions.
Yeah, I also have that.
I thought
somewhere.
that one was. I thought it was.
I liked it.
I thought it was good. Like,
It wasn't great, but it wasn't bad.
and it wasn't like shitty M Night Shyamalan. You know what I'm saying? Like, but you know what I mean? Like,
Because I've heard a lot of people say that the first half is great, but it loses you, which I kind of agree with. But I still have fun in the back half of the moments that are
Yeah.
kind of fucking crazy.
the only thing I don't like is like the end where like how the fuck did he escape that bullshit?
How did they let him pull that spoke?
Why
off
did they
that
let him
bike?
get the spoke? Like,
Yeah.
that's dumb. Other than that though, I thought it was fine. Or it was pretty okay. I mean, it's not top 5 or anything,
Right.
but you know. And then also, I don't know if you guys saw this one, but we went and saw The Heretic.
I didn't get to see it.
And it was-
he got to see it.
I thought it was good.
I was gonna go during Thanksgiving break, but there was only one showing at 10, and I'm like, I'm not driving all the way to Hickory for a 10 o'clock movie.
No, I wouldn't have done that.
So, but I do want to see it. Maybe during Christmas break.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was
pretty
good.
Because
Like-
it looked really good. I
and
heard
it's a
I heard it came out like because I know we saw the trailer a bunch, but a lot of people have said like it came out of nowhere and it was like really fucking good.
It was nice seeing Hugh Grant play a villain.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's been doing that a lot lately. Where I think that's like his thing now. He's like, I've been the heartthrob. Now I'm just gonna start being assholes. And
He's like an old man.
I've
now.
heard he looks like. Yeah, I've heard that he played it really well.
All right.
And then, sorry, I have one more.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a lot of honorable
you're
mentions.
fine,
I'm sorry.
it's fine.
And then my last one is Maxine. I liked Maxine. X is fucking great, and Pearl is not great.
Pearl,
Yeah.
not good.
And Maxine is a solid middle ground because it's not as good as X.
So we can all agree it's
I-
X.
It's X Maxine
right?
Pearl.
I haven't seen Maxine, but I would
Okay.
probably agree.
Yeah, Maxine. I mean, it's pretty good.
It literally all it has to do is be better than Pearl, and trust
Yeah,
me,
it is.
It's already better than that.
But like some of the Night Stalker stuff was cool, like adding that in
Yeah.
there, the '80s vibe, whatever.
the ball stomp was pretty great.
Yeah, that was a fucking gnarly ball stomp.
I was like, it made my nuts hurt. I was like, oh.
But yeah, so that's it. I know I had a lot of honorable mentions, but there's a lot of decent movies. Just none of them, not that many of them were like really good.
Yeah.
All right, Dylan, it's your turn.
My top 5 for the year. It's kind of all over the place. Just because like there's some movies I watched and I actually had like a lot of fun with and I really liked. My number 5, just because something needed to be number 5, and I couldn't think. There wasn't a bunch of movies that like I wanted to put on the top 5, but that are still left in my honorable mentions. Well, this is one that I went to go watch because my wife and her mom went to go watch just a random ass movie, and I didn't want to go see their movie, so I went to go watch a movie. And number 5 is The Book of Clarence.
Yeah.
Like I had a lot of fun watching that movie, and like it was funny, and then like also near the end it kind of tugs on your string.
It does, yeah. It was good.
Tugs on your heartstrings a little bit
I've
near
not
the
seen
end.
Okay. It's not bad. It's a good watch.
Yeah, and like I really like Lakeith Stanfield. so-
Agreed.
but yeah.
I think I was having a conversation with you the other day about how like it's crazy that when I don't bring up a random movie. It's a conversation I wanted to bring up. How like he's like in Dope for like 2 scenes.
And he's the
But
best one in it.
and but he's like the best thing that came out of the movie Dope was like his
Yeah.
acting career. It's crazy.
Who does he
Well,
play?
He-
Dope?
In Dope. Yeah,
Remember he was
is.
the bully that tried to steal his shoes.
Oh, he's the bully.
Yeah,
yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So I just thought it was weird that we had that conversation the other day. I wanted to bring it up.
Oh yeah.
Where like it's weird like that he's like
He's in Get Out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And like I feel weird for putting this in the top 5, but it's just like I couldn't. I also made this like right before I was going to bed.
That's fair.
Literally
But-
literally like the other night.
But like, it didn't make my top or honorable. I don't. I thought about it, but like, yeah, it definitely. It's a movie that like. It's not forgettable, but it is because I failed to put it even as an honorable mention. But it definitely was one of the movies I remember coming out and enjoying when I first saw it.
Number 4 is like one of those ones where I couldn't think of anything else, and I just kind of just plopped it down. But it was Beetlejuice. I had a lot of fun with it.
Really?
I don't think it was a top 5. I really don't think. I just could not think of anything else. I just forgot to go back and look.
Damn, I didn't even think about Beetlejuice.
It's not even on my list. It's not on my list or honorable mentions because every time I scrolled by it, I'm like, it just wasn't even that.
I just scrolled past it.
Yeah,
I didn't even think
I'm like,
about
oh,
it.
I was like, yeah, that's Beetlejuice, but it's not great.
I watched it.
It was good.
And
Yeah.
like I think a lot of it has to do with like.
That's right. Yeah, you did watch it twice. Yeah, sure.
I watched it twice. Yeah, I took my mom to see it because every Halloween, me and her would watch the first one, and like I think a lot of that nostalgia taking her to see it boosted up a lot more.
That's fair, yeah.
Because I know that was like her favorite Halloween movie. Because she was never like a horror movie person, but like so like we would always watch that, and I think that has a lot more. It's more like sentimental value more than actually how good the movie actually was.
I get it.
My number 3 was a movie that came out of left field because I barely knew it was even coming out, and I think you told me to check out the trailer on Twitter once. And I was like, okay, and then we went to go watch it, and it was Late Night with the Devil.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
that was my number 3 just because I really liked the fucking movie. I thought I liked
was really good.
I also liked the Adult Swim vibe it had.
Yeah.
That movie's good as fuck.
Agreed.
Yeah, like I really enjoyed it, and like it was one of those ones that like no matter what part of the year, I just remember it coming out and seeing it.
Yeah, because I rewatched it. It came out early, like April-ish, right? Because I remember rewatching it a couple months later because it went to Shudder, and I wanted to rewatch it, and it definitely held up on the second rewatch for sure.
I think I watched it twice, and I watched it like almost back to back too. Like
Really?
a couple days
Shit.
apart.
Hell yeah.
It was really good. Oh, I talked about it in the podcast like really early on, remember?
Yeah, during Revenge of the Movies.
Yeah.
Yeah. The 2 episodes we had where we just talked
We
about
weren't sure how we were doing this yet.
We had no
We
direction.
figured it out though.
Yeah.
Shout out National Treasure.
Yeah. And then my number.
Well, at least that one we all agreed on and watched together.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I think that's the first
That's
time we
kind of
did
the
that.
one that solidified how we want to do the
Yeah.
structure of the podcast.
And my number 2 movie is one that like we would see the trailers for, but they would never really say much about in the trailers. And it was one that we almost kind of forgot was coming out, and Longlegs.
Yeah, I don't think you could hear me, but I just mouthed, "Is it Long-Legs?"
The funny part is, Longlegs was my most anticipated movie.
Yeah.
At like the end of last year, and it's crazy because I remember we saw the. I know you guys don't remember because we've talked about it multiple times, but like I remember seeing the trailer last year, and like it was one of those trailers, kind of like the Brutalist that we've seen recently, where like it just gives you the title of the movie and kind of like a creepy vibe, and that was it. And I remember we saw that a little bit like last December, and I remember when I brought it when Longlegs, when you were saying like we almost didn't remember it was coming out, I was like, bro, I was looking forward to that movie all year. It's crazy that you guys forgot about it.
Yeah, it kind of came up on me too.
Yeah.
And then like Nicolas Cage put on a really
Hell of
good
a
fucking performance.
Yeah, it was a good
Like,
movie.
Almost to the point where you didn't even know it was him unless you like did some research.
Well, they also had his fucking name all over the market.
Yeah.
It was only on the poster. Like if you didn't look at the poster, because I don't even think he was in the most of the trailer. Like I think there was one more trailer towards the end that I made sure not to watch because I didn't want it spoiled. But like that was the first time I think they had mentioned it in a trailer. Other than that, his name was on the poster.
I don't think they showed his character's face for a while.
Oz Perkins intentionally wanted no one to see his face until the movie. Yeah.
And I really like the movie. Like every time I'm in Walmart, I always contemplate
Same.
getting the Blu-ray.
I was gonna buy it on Black Friday, but they didn't have a Blu-ray copy of it. I was mad because I didn't want to buy the DVD copy.
Because
I almost bought it on Black Friday.
If
but
you're gonna buy the physical media, you buy the Blu-ray or the 4K.
The Walmart we went to didn't have it on Blu-ray, and I almost bought it, but they didn't have it. And I was like, damn.
And like my number 1 movie I watched, and like I almost missed it. I almost didn't even get to see it because of the hurricane that came through.
Yeah.
Me and my wife almost didn't get to go see it, but we did it because it was the only place that really had a power, and like we just wanted to get out and get our mind off of everything. So it was The Wild Robot. Like that movie was actually really, really good.
See, I never
got to see it.
It gives it's very strong Iron Giant vibes.
I was just because I was looking through the other day when I was making the list, and I scrolled past the ticket, and I was like, oh yeah, I forgot that was one of the movies. Like I got the ticket, but I didn't get to
watch it
because the freaking hurricane.
I saw it too online, and I was like, oh,
I teared up like 2 or 3 times, and like it is a really good movie.
I think I might rent it maybe on Christmas time or something because I know my mom really wanted to watch it too.
No,
so I
it's
definitely
really good.
yeah shit.
Like, I really enjoyed it, and it was like an animated movie. And I'm not really like it was DreamWorks, and like I know DreamWorks hasn't had like a really good one in a while.
The Secret Life of Pets. That wasn't even them.
Yeah.
that was Illumination.
Yeah.
That was Illumination. As soon as I said it, I was like, oh, I'm stupid.
For some reason, when you said DreamWorks, the first thing that came to my mind was The Good Dinosaur, which
Yeah.
I don't even think that's
It's
them
Disney.
either.
It's
Yeah,
Pixar.
I don't think that's them either. So,
Like
yeah.
How to Train the Dragon was probably their last good one.
Yeah.
And
Yep,
I
that
only
was
watched
it.
the first.
I've
one.
never seen those.
I
haven't
didn't watch the
either.
first one. They're remaking the first one live action.
Yeah, live action. Yeah,
It actually looks kind of good.
Really?
Well,
Sure.
like it looks better than anything Disney's done.
Yeah, that's fair.
live action.
yeah. Oh God.
God.
Because like
Stop with fucking Snow White.
because
dude.
Toothless
What
is
the fuck?
almost spot on.
Really? Shit,
Yeah.
okay.
But, yeah, the Wild Robots.
Maybe you'll get an episode on it. Who knows? We'll see
Yeah,
what happens.
and then-
Maybe.
And then my honorable mentions, I'm just gonna run through these. I liked If. I thought it was fun.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't like it enough to put it in the top 5. But
Right, yeah,
like,
for sure.
I had fun with it.
That's fair.
Kinds of Kindness is in my honorable mentions. That's 3 hours long. That's why
Yeah,
I was
it's one of the
thinking-
ones I wanted to get to the theater to see. I just didn't get to.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
missed that
I
one.
just did because it was like a random day in the summer, and I just didn't have anything to do.
Right.
So I just went and watched it.
Damn, Dylan, I think you watched more movies than I did this year. That's crazy.
Hey. Yeah, and Heretic is on my honorable mentions as well.
Hell
Yeah.
And one that my wife wanted to see. Well, actually, these last two of my honorable mentions are like two ones that my wife wanted to see that I was like, I'll go. I wasn't really walking into high expectations, but one of them was Lisa Frankenstein.
Hey,
Oh, that
I-
movie's good.
Yeah,
Fuck,
yeah, yeah.
I
like-
scrolled right past it when I was making this
Yeah,
list.
like,
I
too.
didn't
Why
go.
did I do
I didn't
that?
go see it in theaters.
Yeah, like,
so I didn't really
Shit,
think about it.
It was a mystery. Me and my parents was doing this Regal Mystery Movie Monday for most of the year, at the beginning of the year. And
Yeah.
it was the one for February, and it was
Yeah,
good. I liked it
like,
a lot. Yeah.
Grace really wanted to see it, and I was just like, yeah, we'll go.
I remember when we saw the trailer, all of us were like, "That looks terrible."
yeah,
But then the second trailer came out, and we were like, "Hold up."
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good.
I was like, yeah, we'll go see it. Why not? We ain't got nothing to do.
Yeah.
And I walked out of there and I was like, that movie was way better than I ever expected.
It's better
it
than
to
the
be.
trailer made it look too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially
And for it being Diablo Cody.
yeah, and also a very early movie.
Yeah.
in the year.
I just watched it on the cock.
Nice.
yeah.
Yeah, it was on the cock, and I watched it on the cock. for
And
the
then
coming
my
episode.
other one is like another one that Grace wanted to watch it because she saw the trailer a couple times and it was Drive Away Dolls.
Drive Away Doll.
I also watched that on the cock.
Yeah, like I had fun with it. It was a fun watch.
It was more of a miss for me than a hit, but it definitely had its moments where it was fun.
Yeah, I thought it was alright.
It's the
Yeah,
first thing
it's
I
fun.
ever saw Margaret Qualley in, and like I like
She
I
did
never
Kinds of Kindness.
yeah, and I didn't get to see The Substance, which I wanted to see that too.
I also want to watch that movie.
But I've heard it's really great. Like now that I know she's picking up steam, which is cool, I very much like to see her in more stuff.
The main actress from Cuckoo, she's also in.
Yep, yeah, Kinds of Kindness.
So is Emma Stone.
Yeah.
And Jesse
is it Willem
Ple-
Dafoe?
I
in
thought
that
you almost
too?
said Jimmy Kimmel. I was like, what?
No, Jesse
Plemons.
Plemons.
Yeah.
Isn't Willem Dafoe?
Yeah,
in that
Willem
too?
Dafoe's in it. Like all of those
Shit,
put
I
on
have
strong
another honorable
performances.
mention. Sorry that I'm gonna
Yeah,
add
yeah,
later.
all of those have strong performances in that movie. But
Sweet,
yeah,
Jesse
let's
Plemons.
get into your list, big dog.
All right. Yeah, speaking of Jesse Plemons, yeah, there's definitely one I'm going to add that I totally don't have on the list. But I'll start with number 5. 5, I went backwards because I had the list of ones I liked, and number 5 was not on this list because I was scoring it, and I knew what my top one was, and I worked backwards from that to number 5. And then I was looking at the ones I had left to put at number 5, and they were just like, none of them I wanted them to be in the top 5.
Right.
So I went back and looked at my list again, and that's when I remembered, why not talk about the very first episode we made, Furiosa? I
I thought you were gonna say Garfield.
Okay, I'm not that divisive.
I thought about talking about Furiosa too.
Because when I was there's a rescore I want to do later, but so I rewatched that movie. I don't want to give it away yet, but when I was watching it, there's a Furiosa reference in it, and I was like, huh. So like I was like, I never really thought about Furiosa. It was good action. I remember we had a lot to say about it because it was the first episode. You know.
Dude, we
It was
recounted that entire fucking
Yeah,
thing. Like
That
it
was
nothing.
because we didn't take notes yet.
I completely forgot.
Yeah,
it blows me away.
because
I
remember
kinda
we
forgot
did it
about
like a couple of days after we watched the movie,
and we
too.
remember. I really think that helps us.
Yeah.
We did it the day after, actually.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I remember we like it was yeah.
'Cause you
We
and me were
actually-
spit the whole time.
Yeah.
We
That's what-
actually recorded it
at my place.
at your
yeah.
place, and my laptop was taking a shit, and had to borrow your mom's laptop.
Yeah, then you emailed it to yourself. I
Yeah.
remember. Yeah, but yeah, so Furiosa, I
Humble
really
beginnings. We grilled burgers that day.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
yeah, we did. Oh fuck, that
That was
good.
before I met Sarah.
And then like while we were eating, Dad was watching Star Trek.
Yeah.
Good old Papa Dean. yeah,
Yeah.
That's crazy, man.
that was fun, man. Because it was
And Grace had a Carl Dean bonding moment.
Not Independence Day.
It was like Memorial Day.
Memorial Day, right? Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Interesting, yeah.
Because it was like back in like May.
Yeah. First episode.
Yeah, man.
And we also talked about Garfield.
Because we've been talking about doing the podcast for a little bit.
Yeah. Because like even before we started the podcast, we're going a little side tangent, but it's fine. I was like, we see so many movies. Why don't we just do a podcast? And then James out of nowhere was like, bro, we should do a podcast. I'm like, bro, it's weird. I was just thinking about that.
Well, so this is just like a little bit like, I'm sorry, Dylan.
Oh, you good.
A little bit inside baseball here. Like, we would stand outside the movie theater and talk.
For hours.
For hours.
We've done that since we were kids anyway, but like, we would actually talk about the movie and how it was. And
like, I already had the equipment because me and Kyle did a podcast with a friend of ours, Jonathan Jacobs. We did one called Macho Burger Podcast, and so I already had the equipment just lying around because we kind of stopped.
And like the experience.
Yeah, because we stopped doing it. I mean, we just kind of got burnt out, and I was like, well, I have the equipment just lying around. There's like a couple $100 chilling in my fucking
dust.
storage. Collecting dust in my storage unit.
Let's bust it out.
Yeah. Which means we're gonna up our equipment soon, so hopefully
2025, a lot of things are coming.
Yeah.
2025 will be our first.
As long as you listen to the fucking podcast.
Listen to this pod, bitch.
Throw the way you're moving.
I know the side mic is here.
Yeah.
Oh,
Shouts out.
Shouts out. But anyway,
and then I was like, that's a great number 5, I think. Number 4 is Longlegs. Like I said, it was one of my most anticipated movies of the year. It stuck the landing.
I really liked that movie.
It definitely. I hate the marketing, how they were touting it as like the scary. It's almost like a Paranormal Activity type.
Because it really wasn't that scary.
Yeah.
It was like unsettling.
It was more suspenseful.
Yeah. It was like because it was more like a suspenseful cop drama.
It was. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like Saw.
So like I don't like, but like I still think it has good horror. What did you say?
I said it's like Saw.
It kind of is. Actually.
Yeah, I mean, kind of.
Just with less torture porn.
Yeah, not as much torture.
I mean, unless you count Longlegs' death, because that was brutal.
Mommy!
Nanny! Unmake me! I love it. That was
my favorite part of the movie.
Same. Even on TikTok sometimes I'll be scrolling and I'll be fed that scene again and I will not skip it because I just love that scene so much. It was really good. Yeah, it's just like I don't like how they marketed it with like it's the scariest movie. I'm like
it wasn't that scary,
but like it got butts in seats and it did a fuck ton of money. So I really like that it helped it there. And number 3 is one that you guys had. I think maybe just honorable mention. I can't remember. Was Fall Guy. That was another one of my most anticipated.
That was in my top movies.
Okay.
I liked it. I just kind of forgot about it. If I'm being 100% honest.
I mean, I saw it twice, and I was looking forward to it. I'm a sucker for Ryan Gosling. That man is hot as fuck. I love him. He's great. And it was really fucking good. I liked it a lot, and it was really anticipated. It definitely was a great movie. Number 2 is one that James also had on his list. It is Blink Twice, where like once again,
I never got to see it.
It was good, man.
It was randomly one of those ones where I wanted to see it, but I was like, we'll see what happens. But then James was like, bro, go see it. And the circumstances were weird where my mom and dad were going to see the Dennis Quaid movie about Reagan. And I was like, I'll go with you guys, but I'm going to go see this movie that James literally just told me yesterday was like a really good fucking movie.
I remember your mom being butthurt that you didn't go see Reagan.
Yeah, and I was like, I like Dennis Quaid, but I mean, I just don't care about Ronald Reagan. But yeah, so I went and saw Blink Twice, and when I got out of that, I was like, no, that was a really good fucking movie.
Really good fucking movie.
I gave it a 5 on Letterboxd. It was
Channing Tatum also directed it, didn't he?
Zoe Kravitz.
Okay. Oh.
And it was really well. I believe he was a producer though. Like he helped because they remember they were engaged. They're not engaged anymore. They called that off. But they were engaged. So I think that's why they kind of were together with it. But it was a really good fucking movie because it just like my number 1 came out of nowhere and I really.
She was also in Dope.
Yeah, she was. But like I was saying, that feeds into my number 1 where it just came out of nowhere and I really loved it. I love that it was your number 1 too. It's Bike Ride.
Let's go, baby!
Because it just
High five!
It just came, yeah, that's why I kept my mouth shut a little bit when you were talking about it, because I'm like, it came out of there's a reason why I started with number 1 first, because I knew that was number 1, because it just came out of nowhere and we just on a whim saw it and it turned out to be a really good fucking movie. It's a 5 on my Letterboxd too.
I too started with my number 1 whenever I was making my list together, and like I was just stuck at number 4 and I just kept scrolling up and down.
That's why I was stuck at number 5 till I went back at the list. I'm like, oh, why didn't I add that one? But yeah,
I completely forgot about the Fall Guy, even though I kept scrolling up and down. I was like, Beetlejuice.
I saw it, but I was like, do I really want to put it in my top 5? And I was like, it was one of my most anticipated, and it was really
See, that's kind of how mine was too. Like, it was just like I was looking at stuff, and I was like, well, we did really like that fucking movie.
Yeah.
Even though it's pre-podcast, like it was still really good.
Oh yeah.
Have you done your honorable mentions yet?
No, I'm not.
Okay, cool.
And I also have I have Late Night with the Devil as well. I really liked it. I just that was another one where I was stuck at number 5, and I liked Late Night with the Devil, but I liked it almost enough to put it in the top 5, but I feel like Late Night with the Devil would have been like number 6. So like I just didn't want to put it in the top 5. Another one I have that I know James saw, but I know you didn't. I know you watched the first one. Is Terrifier 3. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, man.
It was
I
fun.
thought about putting it in my honorable mentions.
Yeah.
I saw that shit twice.
I watched the first
Really?
one. This
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
I didn't watch the other two.
Yeah.
I had to take
I
bro.
was sad you weren't as high on it, but I definitely I get your reasons though for sure.
Yeah, I didn't like the first one, but I mean, I haven't really watched the other two.
I think
yet.
you'd like to. I really do. Like I mean, if you seek it out, you do. If you don't, you don't. But
First one's super low budget.
Yeah, I just
No, I get it.
after watching, I was like, man, this ain't great.
My biggest beef with those movies is and like this coming from the guy who like loves horror movies, but they're just too mean spirited for me, bro. Like I know that sounds makes me like a little bitch, but it's just sometimes it's too much.
Like
I mean, I know they're supposed to be. I get it. Like that's the whole
yeah,
thing.
because the
but
third
it's-
one, if you're, I mean, I know you don't care regardless. He literally blows up children. So yeah, I definitely can see what you mean by mean spirited.
Yeah, man. Well, like even like the opening scene where he like hacks that whole family apart. It's like,
Yeah.
and they make him too OP, bro. Like there's no,
That's true. Yeah,
It's just like, man, I don't know.
but I love his comedy.
They lean too much into the cheering for the bad guy thing,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
in
fair.
my opinion.
But then another one I have that you guys also had, or I think both of you had, was Transformers 1.
He didn't talk about. Did you talk about
No,
it?
I didn't.
I didn't think so. Yeah.
But it was another honorable mention where I was like, I had a lot of fun with it. It was another one too where like we just saw a trailer. I was like, oh okay, fuck yeah, more
I did-
Transformers, fuck yeah, and then we
I
watched
did
it. And it
enjoy
was good.
it. I just
Yeah.
forgot to put it on either.
That's fair. No, I get
I
it.
forgot to put it on.
Hey man,
honorable
it's cool,
mentions.
man. We all have our lists.
Because I know what we got out of it. We all talked about how we liked it. So
Yeah.
Badassatron. Badassatron.
And here's one that I'm surprised you guys didn't bring up, honestly, because I feel like we liked it a good bit. Speak No Evil.
I thought about talking about it, but by the time I'm sorry,
Oh, good.
I had so many
Yeah.
that I wanted to talk
I
about.
was kind of in the same boat.
I just for sure just really wanted to highlight James McAvoy's performance.
Yeah, my only
Because
beef,
he killed every scene he was in.
Dude, he chewed that fucking
Yeah,
scenery like
yeah, he
nobody's
did.
business.
my only beef with it is like it may have gone off
A little bit too long.
It was
I
kind of
agree.
long.
I agree, but like overall, I still had a lot of fun with it, and I almost didn't go to it. Remember, I was gonna go see an anime movie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But then, like, I think we went long in the record session. I was like, "Fuck it, I'll just go with you
Yeah.
guys because it's closer."
yeah. We all talked. We
Yeah.
kind of talked you into it a little bit.
Did we
yeah.
slam down Taco Bell before that, or is that something else?
I think we might have.
We might have.
I feel like Grace, your wife, went with us to see that one too, didn't she?
yeah.
It was all 5 of us.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was a good one. That was a
Agreed.
really good one. And it was honestly, it might have been one of my more anticipated movies of the year too, because we saw the trailers for it so
times.
much.
Me and Dylan were both burnt out on the trailer. That's
Yeah.
why.
Yeah, I think the second trailer gave out a little too much.
Agreed. Not as big of a sin as Smile 2, but it's
Yeah.
still, I definitely agree with you there. And then my last, it's an honorable mention, even though I'm going to change my score on it. I guess I was trying to keep it a secret, but it's not really much of a secret. I gave a good hint. Deadpool, like, even though I want to change my score on it, it still was a great fun movie.
Yeah,
I wanted to highlight it. It's Marvel, so I don't want to spend too much time on it. It was fun.
Yeah, that's kind of why I didn't want to mention it,
Yeah.
But it's fun for what it is.
because it was like the biggest movie of the year.
Yeah.
Like we all
Yeah.
know.
It made like over $1 billion.
And it was. I mean, I'm not gonna pretend like I hated it because I didn't.
no, yeah.
And I watched it twice.
But it's just not as good as I initially. I was on the dick too hard.
I
man.
think we all bought into the hype.
we
And
did.
then I never saw it the second time in theaters like you two did. And if I would have, I probably would have immediately been like, oh no, too much.
Yeah, yeah. It's on one of the ones I want to change to.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'll change it. I mean, I might.
And then my last one of the new movies this year is Cuckoo, because I enjoyed Cuckoo a fair bit. Like, it was one of those movies where I kept thinking about it even after we were done with it, because it was fun. I enjoyed it. And then of the movies we just did on the podcast, I want to shout out Mid-90s, because that's still like one of my top tiers. And honestly, if we were doing movies we did on the podcast for like top 5, this one would be number 1 for sure. Was Donnie Darko, because I had never seen it.
Yeah.
And,
Donnie
and like
Darko was
when we
great.
watched it, I was like, it's crazy. I had never seen this movie before, and I instantly fell in love with it.
I really like Donnie Darko.
And then, just like you guys said, Walter Mitty was also another one that like shot to my top as well.
all right, y'all want to jump into the ones you guys want to change? James, do you want to go first, or do you have any you want to change?
I want to change a couple, yes, because I feel like I was very generous with my 10s sometimes. Whenever some of the movies weren't 10s.
I agree. That's one thing I want to tell the listeners is like I'm definitely gonna try harder next year to not, because I was high a lot this year. Not high, but my scores were really high. I
Yeah.
want to hopefully try and be a little bit.
A little bit more cynical, but not too cynical.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
'Cause, like,
I
I
want
feel
to
like-
find a good even line.
Yeah, I feel like I've laid out my template pretty good of like 5 is like it was a movie, it was all right. Anywhere from like anywhere from like 6 to 7 is like mid. 7 is like the highest mid you can get. And then when I get to like 8 and 9 are like movies, I'm like, you should probably go see this. And then 10, I kind of want to now reserve for like the cream of the crop.
The cream of the crop, yeah.
For sure.
So I want to change Donnie Darko. I want to move it up. I gave it an 8, and I honestly feel like I was just being harsh. Because it's a fucking good ass movie. It's 9, 9.5.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd say it's like the perfect movie.
Shit.
But like I mean, fuck, man. If I watched it another time, I think I watched it twice this year. If I watched it again, it might be a 10.
Okay, cool. Because we can just kind of do this free form because we're going to get towards the end.
Yeah.
I also was going to push Donnie Darko to a 10 because
Yeah.
like I rewatched it again in October for Spoopy month, and I was like,
It's really good.
It went up because I think I gave it a 9.5 on the episode. So like
You
I
do.
don't mind pushing it up another half to a 10.
See, I gave it an 8.
I think it's become one of my comfort movies the way Walter Mitty is for you now.
Fair
I
enough.
believe
But I definitely would give that. I don't think I'm gonna give it a 10.
that's fair.
I could change it eventually in my own head.
Yeah, because I remember 8. I remember when we first like I'm not being a dick, but like was it because you almost didn't understand it too much? Because I remember at the end we were kind of having a weird debate of like
maybe,
what
I
we think
so.
happened.
And that's just like the farther I've been removed for it, the more I'm just like, nah, it's fucking good.
It's good. It's good. Okay, cool. I'm just curious.
And then there was another one. Mid 90s. I'm dropping it. I gave it a 10. It's not a 10. It's good.
I'm dropping my mid 90s as well.
Yeah, I was sad that both of you said you're gonna because we were talking. And I was like, oh, both of you said you're gonna do that. That's sad.
Yeah.
It's good, but the more I've thought about it, the more I'm like, it was all right.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at.
I'm not gonna take it down. I'm gonna take it from a 10. I'll drop it to like an 8 because like I haven't. So like I left it and I haven't like once thought about watching it again.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I completely forgot about it, so I was gonna drop mine down to like a 7 or maybe 6.5.
And then
Probably
that's probably the main two that I would change. I might drop Dope a little bit because it's another one that like the
Dope.
farther away.
Dope's another one. I was gonna change mine to a 5.
Yeah, I was gonna drop it down to like a 6. But like Long Legs, I stand by it. I still stand by it being a 9.
I think I was the lowest on Dope, so I think that's why I didn't want to change it. Yeah, see, I was the lowest on Dope with a 6. That's why I didn't really want to.
See, I think I dropped mine down to like a 6.
Yeah, I'm cool with leaving. Like I almost want to drop it to a 5, but since I was already the lowest on the episode, I'm cool with just leaving.
Yeah, I was
it
probably
at
the
6.
highest with a 7.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was a 7 too. I just don't see the point in splitting hairs on too much of this. You know, I'm
Exactly,
looking at some of these
yeah,
things
yeah.
and I'm like,
That's
what's
why I
the
think that's why I
difference?
didn't originally put Dope on the list.
But really, like, I just decided on mid 90s to begin with because, like, I knew as soon as I even gave it the 10, I was like, nah.
Damn, I kind of remember recording. I couldn't read it on your face anyway. Like,
Yeah, I think it's maybe like driving home. I was thinking about it.
That's
or
fair.
something.
Yeah.
But that's my main ones I want to change. I'm gonna keep Deadpool and Wolverine at a 9 because
Really?
I thought I gave it a 10. I gave it a 10, and I was gonna drop it from a 10, but like a 9 I could fine because like I'll enjoy my little
you'll hate
in
me.
the moment thing, whatever.
You gonna hate me?
Well, like I said, I haven't watched it in 6 months.
That's fair,
So
that's fair.
Which one is this? I'm sorry, I kind of zoned out.
I was talking about Deadpool and Wolverine. I'm not gonna change it.
Yeah, I'm changing mine on Deadpool to a 7 out of 10. I mean, like, yeah, the cameos was fun, but like, I think if you take away the cameos, what was it bringing to the table?
Just another Marvel movie, pretty
Yeah,
much.
yeah.
I'm tired of the multiverse. The Deadpool core does not work for me. That was fucking stupid. This rewatch, I was like, this is fucking boring. I don't like it.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn, you
there's
like how hard did you drop on this?
pretty farther than he did.
Oh, God.
Okay, well, where do you said
7, right?
7. Just mainly just because, like, if you take away the cameos, well,
Exactly, and like it's so apparent rewatching it when you think about it. Like the applause breaks that you see them put in for like when a character comes in. When Elektra's strutting in, you can tell like it's music, it's kick ass, or like you know it's there for the applause of the fucking theater, and you're just
didn't
they
get
know
that
what they're
applause in
doing.
our theater.
It makes me think of the formula while I'm watching the movie, and I'm like, you can clearly tell they're just painting by numbers. I'm dropping it down to a 6. I went from a 9 to a 6. The plot's not there. There's no plot. It's all over the place. Why is Pyro's little side tangent where like he's working for Paradox but also for the girl?
The girl,
It's all over the place and it knows it. It's a 6.
Fair enough.
a couple other movies I was going to change. I'm going to change my Napoleon Dynamite and The Longest Yard. I'm just going to hit both of them because, like, I'm trying to take away the rose-tinted glasses of nostalgia. If I take away the nostalgia and I look at it just as, like, a basic movie itself, I don't think they're both 10s, in all honesty.
I would agree, probably.
Like, if I just take away, like, oh, I love these movies as a child, if I just look at it as an adult without nostalgia, I'm just like, So I'm going to change them both. I'm going to give Napoleon Dynamite a 6.5.
Damn, bro. You dropped that shit hard, didn't you?
Yeah, I gave it a 10, and it was my favorite movie as a kid, but I was like, as I look back as an adult, I could see, like, why people probably didn't like it. I'm just like, okay, I kind of started to see it.
Yeah.
I totally get that.
I
'cause
see your point, but I think that's why I didn't give it a 10.
Yeah, and then Napoleon, and then Longest Yard, I'm dropping to a 7 because, like, yeah, it's funny, it's a fun time for all, but like, I think if I take away, like, oh, I loved it as a little kid, I'm just like, okay, it's just another Adam Sandler movie.
Yeah. Plus, we're not all sitting here bouncing quotes off each other and laughing and having a good time.
Yeah.
Because I think that adds to our ratings too. I really do.
Yeah,
when we
yeah.
sit and talk about it.
I think I'll drop mine to an 8 as well. I didn't even have that on my list, but I think you're right. I didn't realize I gave it a 10. I was gonna keep it wherever it was, but I didn't realize I gave it a 10.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep it.
That's an 8 for me as well.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep mine. It'll be all right. Because I mean, I could watch that movie right now and be fucking stoked.
Yeah,
fair.
I was gonna change Quiet Place day one, but I've never seen the other two, so I'm just gonna keep mine at a 9. I mean, I was gonna drop it to an 8, but I mean, like, what's the point?
I fell asleep during that movie.
Whenever you
Yeah, you did.
whenever you watch the first two, if you want to revisit it, I'm totally
Okay.
cool with seeing it. See if you see, because I'm very curious if that would change after you've seen the first two. Because like I said, the first one's really fucking good.
The first one's really fucking good.
And the second one's a little bit of a drop, but it's still like pretty solid. I wanted to redo Red One. I'm gonna go through it quick because it's not a big one, but like I gave it a 6.5. I'm gonna drop it back down. I'm gonna drop it to a 6. Wasn't great. And then Quiet Place, I'm gonna give it a 7. I think I gave it an 8 originally because it just, the more I look back on it, the more it's not as good as the first two.
I don't want to watch it again.
Yeah.
Unless I sat down and watched all 3 of them. That'd be the only way I'd watch it.
And then even then, if I was to do that, I'd probably still never revisit. After that, I would never revisit it again.
Yeah. I don't have anything else to
Yeah,
add to
nope.
our Come episode.
Well, that's been our year in review.
Cool.
New episodes drop every Thursday morning, so we'll have another one tomorrow for you guys. You can follow us on Facebook at Movie Juice, Instagram and Twitter at Movie Juice Pod. We're in 2025, and guess what? We still got that Coming Soon website. Maybe it'll drop this year. www.moviejuicepod.com. If you want to talk to us about your year in reviews, email us at moviejuicepod@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. And even if you just want to just give our show a rating, do that too. We'll read it on here. All links can be found on our link tree, which is on all of our social medias. We're on Spotify, Apple, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, and YouTube. You can follow us all individually on Instagram and Twitter. Our handles are in the description below. We'll be back tomorrow with Nosferatu, which is starring Bill Skarsgård and Willem Dafoe.
Hey.
It was released on Christmas weekend, or Christmas week, my bad.
Christmas Day.
Yeah, and as always, I've been Dylan.
I've been Kyle.
And I've been James. And for one last time, this has been The Juice. Happy New Year!